back at it again today. Day 42. Let's see how it is. I have a feeling, yep, as per usual, very cold batch. Thank God the sun's beaming on me. This is the saving grace. Woo. It never gets easier. Oh yeah. Welcome back, everyone. So today I actually want to start talking about some of the physical benefits that you can get from an ice bath. And the topic of today is going to be mitochondria. This actually improves mitochondrial function. And why is that important? A lot of people know of mitochondria, if you remember science classes, the powerhouse of the cell. It's an organelle within all cells. But it's actually incredibly important as it generates energy for the cell to function. And there's a doctor by the name of Dr. Douglas who's actually discovered that all chronic diseases that we're suffering from these days, heart disease, cancer, stems from actually damage to the mitochondrial DNA. That's right, we have two types of DNA. We have a nuclear DNA, which is what we're familiar with, the genes we get from our parents. But then we have mitochondrial DNA, which is its own thing. And we're now discovering that all these diseases we're getting stems from damage to the DNA in the mitochondria, which makes a lot of sense. And that is because we're all energetic beings. What differentiates us from an inanimate object is energy. So the cell needs energy to perform its functions. So a heart cell needs energy to perform its functions within the heart. So therefore, if the organelle that is producing that energy is damaged, it makes a lot of sense that that is where disease would stem from. So that's why I'm putting a focus on how important it is to optimize your mitochondrial function. And an ice bath is a fantastic way to do that. And I'll explain a little bit as to how it works. There's a lot to it, and I can go more in depth in later videos. But for now, let's just simplify it. How the mitochondria works is it actually shuttles electrons across a membrane. So just think of electrons shuttled across a line, and at the end of that, it creates ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell. So the more ATP, the more energy the cell has, the healthier you are. And we get those electrons from food, but we also get it from sunlight. More on that later. However, when the mitochondria gets inflamed, and that happens through poor diet, stress, trauma, all of these things, the distance the electrons need to travel to create that ATP actually become further apart. And what happens is those electrons, before it reaches the end of that chain, can branch out and bind onto an oxygen molecule, and that becomes a free radical. And a lot of people have heard that term before, free radicals. Free radicals, an over excessive amount of free radicals is not good. That causes oxidative stress, which again leads to disease. Some free radicals are good. Again, more on that in another video. But you want to limit your free radicals, and by doing so, you don't want those electrons roaming free before it reaches the end of the chain to make that ATP. So how does this relate to ice bath? Well, when you submerge yourself in cold water like I am now, most of the cell is made of water. So what that does is it actually shrinks the water and then therefore shortens the distance in the mitochondria for the electrons to move. So with that shortened distance, you have more electrons shuttling across, better electron flow, and therefore less free radicals being generated and more energy production. So that is how it upregulates its energy. And that is very important for our health, as mitochondria is responsible. It's actually responsible for a whole lot more than just generating energy, but we'll leave it at that for now. So again, that is a reason why I take an ice bath, and I'm convinced that's why my gut issues started to improve quite exponentially, because I was improving mitochondrial function in my gut, and therefore everything started working better. So I'm just going to leave you at that for now. Again, very important for mitochondrial performance. And I'm going to finish this with a head dunk. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, fucking hell.